Today we're going to react to Legacy's Killer HD's reaction video to why Highguard is losing their player base, like 92% of their player base after 4 days of the launch. And let's go on and hop into this. Nothing too much.
About. But it is, I think, a good reminder to this gaming industry of the dangers of pursuing, well, chasing trends and jumping into the live service arena. Highly competitive, thousands of games have been launched in the last year or so, many of which just most gamers never heard of or cared about. And Highguard is one of those experiences that may have been, just came about and got easily ignored if it didn't get that final slot of the Game Awards and that stamp of approval from Jeff Keighley himself. Very interesting to think about it in that context, but for the last couple of weeks since its reveal, it has been referred to.
Well, what they should not done, bro, is gave them, that fucked them up really bad. And they was trying to, no, what they was trying to do. They was trying to just lease the game like under the water and try to work up their player base. But this game came out with I think 90K players, if I'm correct. I'm correct or not, but exactly, bro, this game this game shouldn't have that many players to get with it, but it's it got a lot of work to be done on this game. Really. Like, the game is not good at all. But should they be shitting on the game? Yes, they should be shitting on the game, but also give your, give your opinion what the devs gotta fix. Because every game is not perfect. Every game is not perfect. And when it comes out, every game come out with a bug or two. They wrap up and stuff like that. But give the devs some time.
As a Concord 2 like experience, and launch came upon, and it is a little bit different in terms of its gameplay, but those comparisons have not slowed down, and they've actually increased, especially looking at the performance of this game. And it's
See, Concord 2, I did not like their character design. Their character design was that was like that was like fucking Blueberry, bro. Like that thing off of Chocolate Factory, bro. I mean, the Winnie Walker, bro. You know that fat girl that they had on there? Oh, Concord. You like, what the fuck? Hey, man, hey, bro, you look at Highgore and you look at the characters, like, bro, you don't really see a difference. Only character I don't like is that nigga's like that I don't even know what his name is, but I do not like that wolf guy transformation. They could have did way better on that. They did kind of like really good on the girls, but for the boys, nah, that shit is terrible. I'm not even gonna lie, that shit is terrible. They can do way better on the character design for the boys. But back to the video.
rather just notable seeing how streamers like Tim the Tatman right now are talking about this game, and also how his audience just doesn't care to at all watch any of this anymore. And this is a clip from his recent stream talking about Highguard.
I don't know. I do listen. Will I play it again? I don't know, bro. It's like I take the chat out of it. Like, let's remove you guys. I probably would play this game again, but everyone's just like bitching, man. Like, can't, like, it's so annoying. You know what I mean? Like, if I take the chat out, I'd probably check it out again, like play it again. I don't know. And I want to be very clear at the end of this, bro. None of this was an ad today. I just wanted to check this game out, bro. So,
Well, I think that's exactly what happened for a lot of people. They checked it out and they immediately, literally checked out.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong to checking out the game and stuff like that. But people shit on a game like really bad to the point, like, it. You know, how can I say this? Um, that it forced other players not to play the game, even though it kind of like make the people, like, if you don't got a brain, right, you're gonna take somebody else input of the game is bad, don't try it out, instead of you going in the game and try to see if the game is good for you or not. You feel what I'm saying? But That's what's going through it though. Sure, he was talking about, yeah, he will play the game without without the chat and stuff. Hell yeah, you still play the game because you got so many people are like hating on a game that you're not even gonna play. You're gonna go back and play Fortnite or Roblox or wherever game or Marvel Rivals or something like that. But this game is not gonna be the like the biggest thing that we ever seen. It's still the same fucking thing. It's a hero shooter, shooting at guns and stuff like that. And sure, the season top, the siege siege tower could be a little bit better. Of like, me and my friend was playing this game. We was trying to like we was talking about, not trying to, but we was talking about how this game we would need more players, like a 6v6 or 10, 10 versus 10, because this game will be real better and kind of take that crap out of the game when you mine. I didn't like that. You have to mine, but it's nothing. The map is kind of huge, where everybody was saying and stuff like that. But we kept it positive. We was talking about people that shitting on the game that you should not. You got the right to shit on the game, but you shitting on the game and not giving it no, like, no kind of input to make it better. Put it like that.
From the game, it went back to whatever live service or whatever video game they wanted to play other than that. And you see that reflected with the amount of players that were there in the first hour or two, and then just the massive drop off. And we've heard some other reviews from notable streamers, like Stroud is another great example. He talked about Highguard just the other day, giving his honest take on the future of Highguard.
The sweats, finally we get one. Dude, I know this is a fun game for people like me, and I know it's a fun game for like comp players, sweaty players, whatever, but like I am not fully happy with the product that came out. I think the game is really, really good.
Yeah.
Mode is really, really good, but like mouse smoothing, not enough video settings, not enough key binds, game crashes, low FPS, all of that stuff. Like, I just wish that stuff, like if it came out like that, bro, but I hope the hot fixes and the patches that they're going to put out this week, I hope they fix and iron out a lot of those issues, because I fucking hate playing games with mouse smoothing. I hate.
And that has been the performance, the lack of stability here at launch, and some of the graphical options not available. That has been a very big criticism. I will give props to the Wildlight team. They have been on it. It seems like they're doing a lot of work. They've already released, I think, an update or two, but that's part of the problem. And then there's the whole gameplay aspect that, like, many people like myself have been critical of, and especially with its 3v3 mode that just doesn't feel like it works.
Yeah. It does not work. It does not work. That doesn't work. They've been on top of it. They've run out a patch, to fix some of the problems and stuff like that. But give it a game time. 3v3 does not work. It does not work with this game. This game supposed to launch with 6v6 or back what I was saying, 10v10, or you can make it 30 by 30. Because it depends on the map size, but it should be like a war going on. You're fighting each other, trying to get to the base. It's pretty cool. And I was talking about this mode, that it will be a cool game mode that you just have one lane. Just like in mobiles, you have one lane and y'all just go. It's probably small, but y'all go attack the siege tower together. Stuff like that. That will be really cool. That will be really cool as a game mode. If you ever played League of Legends, that one lane, and yeah, that shit will be hard. And you got both of the towers going in. Or you ever played Giants? Giants, how you have the Giants go in and they both try to fight each other. You got both of the turrets ramming into each other. The more kills you get, the more damage you get on the turret. That would be pretty fun.
All that well with these giant open world maps and the whole looting aspect and everything else that's within that this mode of the raid shooter mode.
Hate it. I hate playing games with low FPS. It drives me mad. I'm hopeful that those things will get fixed in 2 weeks. Very, very hopeful for the new patch or whatever the hell they're going to do in 2 weeks. They kind of need to nail it, though, because, like, this game's already starting off on the back foot. Like, everybody already started off hating it before the game came out. And the fact that it comes out with some problems is obviously perfect fuel, perfect ammunition for everybody, right? Obviously. If it came out perfect, great, amazing. But of course, there had to be perfect like fuel for the fire. They just got to fix it because they're on a timer, really.
They are on a timer, but it's also, you got to think about it in the context of negative impression with that debut trailer, and then it comes about, and look, if it was perfect, it would be the next big FPS. It's just, this was a
Yeah.
underbaked experience. It needed a lot more work. I heard some people say that it probably needed another year of development, and if it had that, if it had a bunch of other modes and such, maybe there's a different conversation surrounding this. It's just, I think the big takeaway a lot of people have of it is that it's a very boring game, and that's not good at all. Because the first impression wasn't great, and now the people actually playing the game, the first impression they have of actually experiencing it for themselves is boredom.
Yeah, it's definitely boredom. Definitely boredom because the map it feels empty. You're playing the same mode again. It's nothing going on in the map for like you have to wait a minute or two to fight them again. It's like it's just like you just keep it's just like looting just the only thing you do most of the game instead of fighting people. Um and it wouldn't be that bad if you had more players on the map. You know, it would give you more time to fix the game. You need to it make the world kind of feel more alive. It kind of stop feeling stale. You know,
That's not good for the long-term longevity of this experience, and that is reflected with these. It is collapsing
God
fast. Like, I'm
damn.
not being sarcastic with this. This game first
It was
hour or
at
two,
10K when I played.
97,000 when it was its peak, right around 19 UTC, 20, yeah, about 90,000. The next day later, you can look at it. It peaked at 19,000.
Yeah.
The next day after that, it was 11,000. This is Wednesday the 28th, and then just the other day, it was, let's see, yeah, it peaked at 9,000. Maybe this weekend they see a little bit of a bump. Maybe it goes up a couple of thousand, but there's a very real chance that come next week, this game has lost maybe 99% of its player base, and it settles between maybe 2 to 5,000 players.
Mike,
Because yeah, the 20
this shit is crazy, bro. This stuff is really crazy, bro. When you look at these numbers, like, bro, why it's this crazy? But I'm kind of saying this is a good thing too. This is a good thing because you're getting rid of these people that's not gonna, stay with the game and why it try to fix itself. Even though it's kind of screwed, but it needs more time. Like the guy was saying, if the game had more time of, getting worked on instead of putting it out like there and there, or they could have just kind of like put it in beta and try to work with the community. That will be really pretty cool if they did that, but they didn't do that. They just launched the game and the guy just did whatever the fuck his guy name is. I don't really pay it too much attention to game shows like that because they really don't make games like that I like to play anymore, or anything that's really interesting. But that guy kind of fucked them up. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyway,
4-hour peak is 9,000. It's lost over 90% of its player base. That is honestly astonishing and insane. And it gets worse. I mean, Dexerto points it out here. Highguard's Twitch viewership plummets as top streamers move on. Tim the Tatman, a great example of that, and it's been noted. I think he wanted to go play Rivals because his audience didn't want to see any more of it. And during its first 24 hours on the market, the new free-to-play raid shooter hit a peak of 382,000. That's actually pretty good. Concurrent viewers, according data from this analyst firm, I think. And it goes on to mention that as of January 29th, the other night, Highguard has fallen into the four-figure territories, peaking at 7,000 viewers by the time of writing. That is just
Bro.
really bad. Now,
bro, yeah, that's definitely too bad, bro. That is so bad. I'm like, damn, bro. Sooner or later it's gonna drop down, but I don't know if they can come back for this one. But I'm hoping they can come back for this one. Even though I just don't want. I really don't like games to fail at all because people worked on these games, and people always say this too. They're like, why they don't ask the players of what game they want. We've been saying that for years now. Why do developers don't come out and just have like a vote thing? Like, yeah, that what kind of game do y'all want to be made? I and the fact is they would never do that. The fact is they would never do that. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that shit or not. They're never gonna do that. We just as gamers, we're just gonna have to vote with our wallet and our time, because eventually, because a long time ago, every game was not polished. They had to drop a patch fast as hell, because the game wasn't even done. They just started dropping games like this, this generation of and shit like that. They're not finished. They kind of want you to spend all the money on the game, even though it's not finished, and they want you to be the player tester instead of making a beta or an Apple text or a Discord community that follows on with the game to build the game together. It is slop at the end of the day, but still this fucked them up really bad, bro. I'm not even joking. The point.
It must be noted that there was a lot of conversation about this score right here, the reviews. And
Yeah.
It was
Oh my
sitting
God,
at
bro.
like 17%.
Bro, 17%, dude. It's like that's dude. What do you mean, bro? Why is that number? Y'all think y'all remember when Overwatch came out? Overwatch had the most negative views because they did not respect the veterans in the game. The guys that spent $60 that played your game from day one, from back in the day, bro. And the game came out it came half finished, no PBE, nothing. The game was dog crap. And did they fix it? Yes, it did. The game is better now.
In the first couple of hours. It has gone up. This was my prediction in my last video. I said it was probably going to land somewhere in the mixed territory. It's on the low.
Wait. Hold up, I forgot that one input. They did not. I don't think they did not at least PvP. I mean, not PvE. PvE. The boss, or you do that shit like that. I don't think they did. But the game is doing way better.
Lower end, but yeah, 22,000 reviews, 40%. That's not great, and it is a war zone in these Steam reviews. And actually, if you sort it by all languages, it actually leans more mostly negative right now. Maybe that changes over time, but yeah, it's a war zone of people saying that this is haters gonna hate, and other people saying this is just a very boring experience. And yeah, nothing done better than in any other game. The game is just buns, man. Top 5.
It's not gonna be a perfect game, bro. It's the same copy and paste crap, but with towers and hero shooters. It's not new. What I kind of look for a game to do, make the shooting a little bit better. It should come out smoother. You pop, you have fun, throw abilities and stuff like that to do it towards people. You do cool plays and everything, but the game is just the same. It's copy and paste. And I'm very interested in like of the stories. How they build their characters, lore and stuff like that. You actually, you care about your game. You actually, you update on it. The roadmap. The roadmap is kind of terrible. I think y'all seen the roadmap. The roadmap's really terrible. I don't even know what the fuck is that.
Worst
But
games I've
you have to give them a point. They're trying.
ever played. good POG game, haters gonna hate. I think that's a greater reflection of the conversation right now surrounding this game on social media. But we are starting to get critic review scores, and again, it is not great. It actually really is reminding me of what happened with Concord, because Concord had similar scores from critics. Yeah, as you can see, it has a 67 right now. It's only 5 reviews. Mind you, it could be many more coming in. It'll factor, maybe even this out, but I think it's going to land somewhere in that territory of 6 out of 10, which isn't very good, especially for, you know, a massive live service that some outlets were saying that this was the next FPS powerhouse. It doesn't appear to be that at all. And just to give you an idea on these critics,
one thing they kind of did, this game is not going to be the next powerhouse. No. Hell no. Hell no. No. You think it's going to be a next powerhouse? No. This is a casual game.
reviews, the
Nothing
top one
else.
is an 86, saying Highguard is a top-notch PvP shooter, not your average fare, but rather a highly creative and unique game concept whose main mode blends 3 phases into a virtually ever-changing gameplay experience. It's as glowing as it gets, and then as you can see, the score.
Yeah, it's multiple games and into one. They took from Rainbow Siege. They took something from Overwatch. It's like you got a little bit of Apex feeling in there, but the movement not too much of Apex. They need to fix that because the Minecraft it's like Minecraft mining, bro. Take that out of there. That should never be in a shooting game in general. Should not be in a general.
Right now get much lower. So the lowest run right now coming from Gaming Bolt, which says Wildlight Entertainment's PvP raid shooter mashup of multiplayer elements offers a repetitive, uninspired, and dull time. Ouch. Now, the developers of this experience, they have been very active talking about Highguard, in interviews with various outlets, and they have been responding to the criticism. We talked about that last video. Game development runs on optimism, and they have stressed that they don't need massive numbers for this game to be successful, but if you're averaging between 2 and 5 and you have a 100 developer team, that just doesn't sound like you're going to be able to exist in the next couple of months. Or
yeah, you're not going to be able to exist in them. As long as if it keeps going down and down and down to the number, it's going to die. And I kind of don't, want it to die like that, bro. And I know one game that switch off topic, but I kind of wish this game didn't die. It was Supervive. Supervive was a good game. It was one of those games like League of Legends. It's a battle royale and like Overwatch feel into it, but it was good. It died because they stopped caring about what the players have to to say to make the game better. Like that, it's so sad.
Let alone keep supporting this game moving forward. That's why some people have Concord level concerns, like, oh my god, is it going to shut down in a couple weeks because of how bad this has gotten so fast? Now, the developers, they did answer some of the critiques. This is the first one. They talked about really setting themselves apart from, some of the other games like Concord and Overwatch. And this is how they responded in a recent interview.
The live shooter sector is so challenging. For every Helldivers 2 or Arc Raiders, there's numerous Concords and things like that. What do you think about your game that's going to resonate and be one of the former rather than the latter?
Yeah, I think our game is new and unique. We're seeing people who've actually played the game, and they just can't stop talking about how it's fresh and new and unique, right? There's familiar elements. People that play shooters will understand.
I mean, it combines a lot of things that we've seen in other games and puts it in one giant package. Some people think that's new and innovative. Some people think it's not. It's lazy, and it's a poor example of how this industry can evolve moving forward. That's just the conversation I've seen online. Some think it's great, some don't. And right now it seems like the side that really doesn't really care about this, they're winning right now.
Bomb plant, bomb defusal, and shield breaker, trying to rush it to the base and all this, but our game has elements that are nowhere out there, and it's a game loop that doesn't exist, right? That's why we kind of had to come up with a new way to describe it.
I think that is fair. That's the big thing. The game loop is unique, but it does bring a combination of a lot of stuff that we've seen from other games. You could talk about the art direction. That is
Yeah.
notable because we've seen it in so many games. And that has been one of, I think, the biggest critique I have with it. It just looks like every game I've seen on the market the last half decade in the live service genre.
Because what I think that what they did, they kind of took everything that works, right? They thought about all these other games, and they looked at them like, huh, oh yeah, that works. Let's try that in our game. You know, they try to do something unique. You know, try to make it unique, but at the same time, it's just copy and paste. It's copy and paste, but that's how we learn. That's how humans learn. We learn from each other to try to make the better product and stuff like that. I don't even know why the hell this thing opened like that. I forgot that shit was even on there, bro. Why did I the whole entire time I was talking and this thing was right here? Hold up. Why did I just look at this? I was like, bro, I forgot that thing was on there. No breaking. Oh my goodness. But it's fine. Fine. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So basically, it's nothing wrong with learning from each other, right? You learn how this game did good. You take the good stuff from this game and try to make it better in your game. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, back to the game video.
In the raid shooter term. But look, we love making shooters. It's our expertise. We're doing our best to just put all of our passion in this, and we have a track record of making really great shooters. And most of us come from Apex. 60 plus people on this team were the launch team of Apex and Titanfall.
Wow.
And it was a crowded genre then also. When we launched Apex, we were like the 50th Battle Royale game to come out.
I think this is specifically why I wanted to talk about this comment that came from one of the lead developers on this game. Like, they're gonna laugh about this, but that's not a great reflection of how 2019 was. It was still very early days with these battle royale experiences. We're talking about massive ones. There was, I think, Call of Duty had Warzone already out, and there was Fortnite, obviously, and PUBG. Those were the major players. And then Apex came around, and it was different. It felt unique. And it came out of the middle of nowhere, which is something that we really didn't see from the industry. So I just think it's a little disingenuous to say there was like 50 other battle royales. On terms of that scale, there just wasn't that many. And Apex did feel distinctly different in terms of its gameplay loop, and also just the whole package felt different. Now,
Yeah, the package felt really different when Apex came out. It captures you in, fast gunplay, and it was a learning scale. You basically was having fun every time you kill somebody. It was fun. It kept you going, kept you playing and stuff like that. And you had different characters. That you have a robot that's always talking crap. You had stories that bring you in. The gameplay was smooth. The jumping, sliding around the map, looking for people, looting. The game was there. But I used to play PUBG, and the game was fun. But it was fun, but it was kind of boring at the same time because the map was too damn big, and you'd be searching for people for at least about 20 minutes or 10, or if I got the number right, but there and there. But still, Fortnite was made for easy people, like people like dead brain people and still like that. Just want to have a good time, basically. I didn't like Fortnite. It was nothing there. But anyway, back to
forwarding a little bit later, they do talk about the hostility to the live service genre and making a game like this.
There's a bit of apathy towards live service games at the moment. I think people announce something and they're just like, sometimes you even get hostility, which I don't quite understand. Does that surprise you? Is that something you've had to come to terms with as you've sort of gone from when you launched to where you are?
I think, again, this is another statement that I feel is disingenuous. I'm sure he's just trying to appease them with how he's talking about this. But, I mean, a lot of the apathy that he's talking about, or the hostility, is more so with the type of developers that are pursuing these live services and the chasing of trends. We're talking Naughty Dog, we're talking Bethesda, we're talking Rocksteady. It's a lot of these beloved single-player studios chasing the live service money and it backfiring badly. And then, yes, these new studios emerge and it's the same thing. I think there's a lot of people that just, yeah, they kind of scoff at seeing this type of stuff because it's been so extensive over the years, and there is just a massive, massive list emerging of high-profile disasters because there isn't giant audiences that are yearning for these games.
Cause nobody, it's nobody. And the fact that you're chasing these trends and stuff like that. That that's kind of boring, bro. Just make a game that people can have fun. People, they don't think about that. They think about the money first. Nobody never thinks about the players. The players, bro. They're not thinking about that you can replay this game over like 10,000 hours. I'm like, yeah, they never think about that. They only think about the check, the check. That's the only thing they care about, and they wondering why the game is dying because they're not making a game for players. They're making games. They're just making a penny. You know, like some money. Just put it like that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to figure. You know what I mean? Anyway,
There's been a bit of a shift, right, in the online mentality
It's
and
not
the
a shift.
sentiment.
Mhm.
I don't know that we really let it affect us. We, at the end of the day, we've been successful in building big franchises that stand the test of time by continually surprising our audience and dialoguing with them, and that's the intention here as well. But ultimately, when you look, kind of top down, 30,000 foot view in the shooter space, I mean, shooters are still the rocket fuel that is propelling the games business, both
Yeah.
MAU, monthly active users, in playtime and in revenue. The CAGRs are really positive and strong.
well, I'm gonna say this too. Yeah, shooters are there, but shooters get stale over time. Like Call of Duty. What you think of Call of Duty, guys? Call of Duty been doing the same stuff for every Call of Duty for the past generation now. And people are still buying Call of Duty for $80, $160, probably $200. $200. People are still buying cosmetics for Call of Duty. Because pretty much I used to play Call of Duty a long time ago, but I stopped at Call of Duty 3. That's the last Call of Duty I ever played. But that right there, because it got boring. You just sit in a box shooting at each other and stuff like that. Ain't nothing really happening and stuff like that. But it's the shooter genre is like, nah, there. It's all right.
Strong and continuing to grow. 5 of the top 10 games on
Again,
PC.
this is another thing I really do not like, and they keep saying this in many of these interviews, saying, oh, look, it's an overcrowded thing. Well, look, people love shooters. They're still growing. The thing is, maybe
Bullshit.
5 shooters emerge out of this whole year. There's going to be probably about 1,000, maybe between 1,000 and 5,000 shooters that are launched on the market. In terms of AAA, maybe it's 100 or so. And only 5% of those are going to be anything close to the word successful.
Bro,
And that's where the exhaustion comes from.
at this point, bro, they need to just go ahead and make a gooner shooter. It just go ahead and make a gooner shooter, bro. This is how big booty with Tina shooting at each other. At this point, it'll work out. At least you can make some cash. Yeah, I'm right. Stop, bro.
Gamers like myself, and maybe you're just tired of seeing these games that are inevitably going to be shut down in the coming months. And that's where, like, these remarks, they just do nothing for me, and they're playing the game at risk, and this is, right now, it isn't working out for them all that well. Maybe that changes in the future, but it doesn't look promising. And there's been articles already written why Highguard is facing so much backlash from players, and Vice does at least a decent job outlining why players are upset with Highguard. It was a disappointing final game reveal at the Game Awards 2025 ceremony. Yes, it was.
Definitely.
Performance issues. Yep. 3v3 mode doesn't work on a map so big.
Yep.
Gear up phase is boring, according
Yep.
to players. I would agree for the most part. It's just messy, and it doesn't really make much sense. Character designs are bland. I think they look better than, say, Concord, but I can understand that
Hello.
criticism. There's nothing striking about them. Missing game chat and party features at launch.
Yeah, they're kind of, man. They can do a little bit better, bro. They can do a little better with the characters. At least they kind of look at least a little bit better from Concord. When you go back and look, you're like, ugh, brother.
tries to be too many games, expensive in-game currency. And look, I'll add on to this with a casual perspective, because when we're talking about these live service shooters, we'll talk maybe Overwatch, Fortnite, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They have tons of modes that appease whatever style you're going to play. If you're going to play solo, there's a mode for that. 3v3, 5v5, all of that. The problem is Highguard has 3v3, giant open world maps that really put an emphasis on communication and working together. And from what I experienced just playing in a couple of these lobbies, you'll have people looting, and then you'll have the fact that you need to be running at the sword, and there's a lot of these lobbies, if you're playing solo, it ends up being an absolute disaster, and you're at a massive disadvantage. And I really do think that you see the errors and the fact that there's just so much going on. Like, yeah, you can be working on your base, improving it with some wall reinforcements and such, but you also have to go out and loot and grab new items and gear.
They should do better with that. They should allow you to put more stuff instead of putting up a wall for your base. That was kind of like playing a little stuff like that. Even though you're gonna copy the Rainbow Siege formula, you should have been able to put some stuff down, like a turret or something to fill in your base and stuff like that. But that was kind of like me. It's kind of boring ish.
And even then, the gear system doesn't make
It's
much sense, because you have like stages within these raids, and the first stage you're really only going to have rare items that you can come upon, and then automatically it increases the items that you can get after the next stage, and it's like, oh, everything.
Oh yeah, one point. I did not understand why you pick up shields in this game. You did not, like, when you pick up shields in this game, you like, do you switch shields? That's how it works, or do they charge shield? I never understand it. I thought that's how I thought of it. I'm like, is it just a useless ass feature? Anyway,
Is now an epic or the purple variant, and then when you get to the final stage, when it's really close, it's everybody gets legendary. So it makes, looting and doing all of that really kind of, it doesn't make any sense why it even exists in the first place. That's why I'm saying I think Highguard is at war with itself with how it goes about its gameplay loop. On paper, I think it sounds great. I just don't think it works out well enough. Like, there's sweaty people that are really going to enjoy this, but from a casual perspective, I just think there's a lot of boredom associated with this. And when we're talking about the live service genre, there's just so many competitors. And that is what we're seeing play out. People are going to go play those rather than an experience like this, which is underbaked and shallow in many regards. And look, the game developers in this industry have chimed in, a lot of them defending Highguard right now. No game is perfect on day one. Game developers rally to support Highguard as complaints pile up. I'm just going to hit back and say that this is a highly competitive medium. These individuals know it themselves. There's going to be losers.
If you can't keep the casual players into your game, the game's gonna die. I don't care how bad you have these try hard sweats, these pros at your game, the game is gonna die. No matter what, if you can't keep the casual players, the game is gonna die.
Right now, Highguard looks like a loser. Maybe that changes in the future. But this is part of the gaming industry, especially when you're going to be jumping into the live service arena. You are battling for attention. And right now, Highguard isn't winning that battle. And this is something that many of these developers themselves have gone through. And obviously, they don't love seeing people, trash these experiences, but there is a frustration in the air from many gamers just seeing constantly so many of these studios jumping into this arena really for no good reason. I will say that, their background of working on Apex and such, it makes sense why they pursued this, but at the same time, it just feels like it was released way too early, especially for a game that is right now being labeled, it is a full release. It should have been a beta or early access or something. It doesn't feel like a full release. And yeah, 1047 Games, the developers behind Splitgate, jumped in. They said no game is perfect on day one. Ours certainly wasn't. If you see potential, share feedback. It helps making the game better, and that's something we should all be rooting for. There's rooms for tons of great games. Wishing you success on Highguard, Wildlight Entertainment. And Remedy Entertainment, who released FBC, I think, Firebreak last year. That also was a notable live service disaster. This is one of their communications directors saying, tired of seeing headlines of how many players Highguard has lost. Their own game got that same treatment last year. It wasn't many people playing that. Like, sure, you can argue
and to be honest, I didn't even know what the hell that was until I look at it. Was that in a space shooter? You know, you get to fight people in space, and you know y'all fighting over. You know, you get in their ship, and you do all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
It's putting facts out there, but I can't escape the feeling there's just this
Mm.
celebration of a game doing badly. I haven't
Yeah.
seen people like, ha ha ha, I can't believe Highguard's sucking. I think it's more of like, oh my god, I can't believe they released it in this state and it's just poorly thought out.
Yeah,
Again, I think that's more of a reflection of the frustration and annoyance of the live service genre right now. I think that's the disappointment that many gamers have in the air, and they're voicing it. And surely there is like a decent amount of people that, yeah, they celebrate any of these gaming failures. But I think for the most part, most gamers that are down on Highguard, I think it is disappointment with the actual game that was produced.
Yeah.
And just putting
that is exactly right. The game is dog water. They should never released it. That's what happened. That's what happened to Supervi. That the game wasn't ready. They released it to the public, and the game died. They stopped caring, and they stopped caring about what the players have to say. At the end of the day, your game is going to die.
negative headlines for the sake of it, shouldn't us game devs even try? And you're trying, and you're getting the consequences from that, and that is criticism. And a lot of it, I think, is full of substance, like actual reasons of why people are down on Highguard from a gameplay perspective, performance, and all of those factors. Sven Vink even jumped in, the Larian head, saying, I don't like people shitting on things others have created. Putting something out into the world makes you vulnerable, and that alone deserves respect, even if you dislike the creation. It's easy to destroy things, it's a lot harder to build them. The best critics understand this, even when they're being critical, they do their best not to be hurtful. And then he went on to say that critics should be rated, like there should be a Metacritic for critics, which he got, oh boy, did he get backlash for that one. And he deleted it right here, as you can see. Sven Vink's been running into angering a lot of people in the gaming industry the last couple of weeks. Cliffy B, though, another person that jumped into the live service arena, notably with Lawbreakers, and there was another battle royale I can't remember that followed soon after, and then that was notable flops. Cliffy B saying, when did it become trendy to hate on a new game? Been seeing it more and more in recent years. It's exhausting. It's not every game. Arc Raiders, Baldur's Gate. I love the silly games like Repo and RV there yet. Mark Rain used to always say under promise and over deliver. And yeah, man, this one struck a nerve with a lot of reactions to it. And he was talking about Mark Rain, who is the Epic Games co-founder, and he responded saying, it's downright horrible, especially a free game from a new studio. Just sad. This is a hobby for people. They should approach with joy, not hatred. And look, I think we can all agree that if Highguard had not appeared in that final slot at the Game Awards, we're probably not talking about this game right now. It got that center focus, so you can blame Jeff Keighley or whoever you want to blame.
And yeah, you can blame it because it should never got that spot in general. They should never got that spot in general. You gave when they like everybody was like you know, wondering what this game is gonna be, and you went quiet for a while. Then you released the date. I'm like, yeah, this game is completely dog shit. When you get the game, then bro,
but it got the attention that the Highguard team absolutely wanted, and they could have changed many minds if it launched in a better state, but it did not. And people decided to check it out. 100,000 people at least on Steam alone decided to check it out, and for the most part, about 90% of that said, I'm good, I'm going to go play something else. Maybe in the future they can win people back, but this is just not how you go about it here in 2026. And the live service arena has become more and more competitive over the years, and you got to understand that there's only so many gamers that are interested in this type of into these type of experiences. And for the most part, a lot of those people are going to be playing their NBA 2K, their GTA Online, their Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Arc Raiders. And there is only
who's still out here playing GTA, bro? I know there's a lot of people still playing GTA. I don't even play GTA no more, man. I know I tried Arc Raiders, bro. Arc Raiders is a good game, definitely.
So much space. There has to be something striking about the game. And for the most part, the big takeaway that I've seen from Highguard is that it grabs aspects from a bunch of other popular games.
Yeah.
The problem is that those popular games do it in a much better way, and Highguard just feels like it's doing way too much. And that is a big thing that the team at Wildlight Entertainment, they have to figure out fast, because I think Shroud brought it up perfectly. They are on a timer right now, and they are running out. Anyway, Highguard right now is collapsing. It is just, I mean, going from 97,000 players 4 days later, it's down to just in the single digits.
I'm wondering what's the player number on PlayStation and Xbox. I'm really wondering.
That is not good, no matter what way you look at it. But anyway,
Probably terrible too.
do you plan to give Highguard a second chance, or what is your thoughts on Highguard? Let me know down in the comment section.
I'm still gonna play Highguard. I'm still gonna play it, but just like sometimes when I get off another game, still like that, I'm gonna still give it a chance to fix itself, because I have nothing else to play, and I'm kind of tired of playing the other games and stuff like that. I put way too much time in the other games. I was looking for something new, very hype and stuff like that. But thank you, bro. Thank you. Like, oh my goodness, what a good video. Good video indeed, bro. I'm gonna already like. I just haven't subscribed. You haven't subscribed, but thank you, bro. Oh my god. Anyway, what do you guys think? Are you gonna still be playing Highguard, or are you just gonna drop it down to tomorrow, or go back to playing your games? Anyway, I'll catch you later. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. If you want me to react to any more videos like this, drop it down below. And I'll catch you later, my little dippy guts. Oh my god. Oh.